Like the first year, they're the little angels. And then the second year, they're dewdrops or something. And then they work themselves up with more experience. And Allison Ashley was a ballerina. She had a really good toe. She took a Trigger Soul class, I think, right when she got that shut off. I mean, that's what really
You're on the wrong end.
was Bill was
You're going to be over here.
Well.
So you'd probably be better off in the hall.
Yeah.
You did.
I just followed Captain.
Sure, Elaine here.
Got a good job there. It's a perfect job for you there. Notice I'm only using a quarter of the plate. Just a one little small area. Everyone else filled theirs to the brim. Not me. You are your
Somebody sitting here?
No, I got that.
You look at the tree here.
Okay.
The unsuspecting victim.
Don't feed him anything.
Thank you.
Oh.
Chairs now.
Regarding the tape.
Well, I've got a sister. Can't see what moral support.
No doubt.
Mark that record, get that baby cleaned up. All that dust out of there.
How was that doing?
Well, I make a lot of dust all the time.
Is everybody comfortable? We thought it would be fun to have a Christmas program tonight.
A Christmas
A
program.
Christmas
I don't know, but I'm nervous.
We're not going to ask you to sing.
Yeah, as long as I don't have to sing.
No.
Well, I'd be a little nervous too about this crew if I were you.
Hello, Dawn.
I'm wondering, I didn't want to interrupt you, you've been busy.
Residence
I was concerned about whether we were going to have a party. 4 o'clock, nobody here. 4:30. 5 o'clock, nobody here. Finally, Gene and Weldon showed up, and I felt better.
Until 4, Dad cracking the whip. Gotta get this stuff out.
Get them going.
Until 4, the doorbell rang. See, I told you they're here. Ben.
Well, the word went out. Program's at 6:30, so everybody should be here. And first on our program is Shirley.
You think you were nervous before.
Wait till you
This will either make you nervous or sick. What is it? 'Twas the month before Christmas, and all through the store, the ideas for Christmas abounded galore. The stockings were hung in the windows with care, preparing for Christmas to soon be there. The fabrics were nestled all snug in their shell. The fabrics were nestled all snug in their shell, all neat and in order in spite of themselves. Mr. Harper was ready in his suit and his tie. for all of the seamstresses to come in and buy. Jan in her scarf and Aletha in her sweater had made many plans to make the customers' Christmas better. Next, to turn on the lights and open the doors, readying their scissors for their daily chores. We all settled down to the measuring and cutting, coming up with gifts that the customers were wanting. There were pajamas and robes, a shirt and a vest. Maybe placemats or napkins would meet the test. How about a sewing basket with scissors and thread, or maybe a compact cutting table? They could be led. The cash register was keeping busy, singing its song, and Mr. Harper was enjoying singing along.
Right.
Then all of a sudden,
Where's your glasses?
I knew you were going to say that. Then all of a sudden an idea arose. Now to make Mr. Harper thrill to his toes. Not only could we sell everything in the store and make all the sewers clamor for more, we decided to celebrate an occasion quite great, Mr. Harper's 20th anniversary date. To our minds came fond memories of years gone by. We all reminisced with a laugh and a sigh. What wonderful years these had all been. How we would enjoy doing some things all over again. The stories were flying and the memories were too. Thoughts of many good times, some embarrassing too. So Mr. Harper, in this scrapbook you can read and enjoy and remember old friends and the folks you employ.
Well, that's great. Oh, that's neat.
She's so talented.
Isn't she, though?
Several Christmases Shirley's done all
Yeah, I remember.
all of those years. And Mr. Harper, our Christmas gift to you this year is a congratulations on your 20th years in business. And in this book, there are over 50 congratulations from friends from 20 years ago
Is that
and
right?
through the years.
Huh.
And there's some real wonderful expressions in here to you. And I'm going to read some of them.
You better not.
Oh. Like back in the beginning, you've got your friends, the Saxons, before they left town. They said to you, "Dear Mary and Dean, congratulations on achieving 20 years of successful business. I know it is a result of hard work and dedication. We see so many wonderful stores that open and close, but yours has not. We wish you the best for the future of success."
Oh, that's
And
nice.
then one of your friends, back in Corwin, you've got quite a few Corwin friends that have sent some super messages. Mary Stipe. I think most of you remember Mary Stipe in the Corwin days. Who's now in New York. She says, "Dear Dean, congratulations on Harper's Fabric 20th anniversary. I wish I were there to help you celebrate. I remember the first time I was in your store to see some cotton batik written up in the Kansas City Star. Would you believe it? I still have that piece of fabric. And I never found something special enough to make from it." She says, "Thank you for being my mentor and good friend."
That's nice.
Other Corwin friends, I'm not going to read them all,
No.
but some of these I want to read. Cack and Mary Anderson say, "Dean, you're a man of few words, but when you speak, we do listen. Through your example in business and personal ethics, you have taught us to be a better people. Our admiration for you is more than you'll ever know. Best wishes now and always." Oh, you received greetings from Mike Myers, sure flies when you're having fun. Heard that
I've
before.
heard that.
Look at me. Let's go for another 20. Good luck and good health. Rita from Cherokee Fabric. Congratulations for a successful 20 years and for being a survivor.
Something to be said for that.
I hold you in high esteem as a good businessman and a friendly and helpful competitor. I can't beat you. If I can't beat you in business, maybe I can beat you in golf.
I played golf behind her the other day. She was in the group ahead of us.
Is she a good golfer?
Yeah, she is. She's a better golfer than I am.
Somebody's more telling you.
Practice is last night.
And then your friends, Esther and Cy Rusnick say, Dear Dean and all of Harper's Fabric family, Edith and I wish you a hearty congratulations on your 20th. I am here to tell you that this is by no means a small feat. I know it took lots of hard work for you and your dedicated staff to achieve this. May life continue to bring you success. And
Good to hear from her competitors.
And then another old friend is Ron Friend. He says, Cecil Wright was correct when he said the penny company couldn't afford to lose you. But subsequently, let's see, a minute here. He writes so small and so hard to read. But subsequent years have proved that the penny company's loss has been many, many people's good gain. You brought new standards of professional fabric retailing to the Midwest, benefiting your employees and customers alike. Even more important, you generously shared your knowledge, energy, and talent with countless other retailers. It's an exceptional man who is universally respected and liked by virtually everyone who comes in contact with him. You are such a dear man. Congratulations on Harper's Fabric's first 20 years. I'm sure there will be many more to come. P.S. You have a great looking logo too. He telephoned me and he says, I'm just having a hard time getting it all in one call. Let's see. You heard from Foley at Foley Fabrics. You heard from Dwayne and Joyce Unger.
Is that right?
And here, A. Kaplan says, congratulations on your 20th. I hope you double that and enjoy 40 years of prosperity and pleasure. And you heard from Joanne Clark, and the gal who did all the lace collars.
Yeah. Elizabeth Ann.
Elizabeth Ann. She wrote, what a pleasure to be part of Harper's Fabric's 20-year celebration. Accompanying the status you have achieved accomplishing the status you have achieved speaks well of both management and personnel. My acquaintance with you has developed into a relationship that I cherish and respect. Under your guidance, this country girl met the challenge of New York as well as other obstacles. My thanks seem so inadequate for the trust, advice, and friendship we have. With you, wish you many more successful years in the future.
Yeah, she's a nice lady.
Then we have a whole section. Did you hear the one about the traveling salesman? Bob Malgrim, we got a message from here, from him, to the most sincere and personable man I ever met.
told him what to say.
You don't tell that line.
Check the above.
Fill in the blanks.
Your friend Rob Kramer here in town, oh my, 20 years, it does not seem possible. But time does fly quickly when you're having fun. Dean, in addition to having been a customer for the past 20 years, I also consider you a valued friend. Here's one from Lori Evans, Gary Cohen, Richland Fabric, Raleigh Jensen.
Thank goodness.
Terry Wickham says, Barbara and I and all the employees of Wickham Industries wish to extend our sincere congratulations to you on the 20th anniversary of Harper's Fabric. I know that because of your high level of service, fairness, and honesty, you are greatly admired by your peers, employees, and customers. That's why you've been so successful for 20 years. Congratulations. I know there's one here from Harry Angelson and
Can you read it?
Give it a try.
You're just getting her
Now, Harry's writing, you can never read it.
Read his orders.
He writes these orders, I think he does it on purpose, but you can never read what it says on the order.
He's such a neat guy.
Is he that real seedy looking one that I would let in the office one day?
He's the big guy, his shirt tail's always out.
Yeah, he was waiting to come in the back door one morning before the store was open, and I had a key to let myself in. And he said, I need to come in too, and I said, I'm sorry, I don't know you in the store, there's nobody. And he looked so bad.
Just wanted a cup of coffee.
John Owens.
John Owens.
Yeah. He retired, he's raising his family now.
Here's a message from Tom Ross, 20 years in business. Your sentence should be up. Best of luck for your continued success. Life Tuesday, and several others there. I won't take time to read. And then there are the pros. And the pros we consider people like Barbara Cunningham from the University Extension.
Yeah.
She says, your support for extension programming is greatly appreciated. It's taken me much too long to become acquainted with you. But since I have, it's been a pleasure. I look forward to working with you in the future. And then we have Flo Beal. She's from the Johnson County Extension.
Known her for 20 years.
Happy anniversary, Dean. Has it really been 20 years? In some ways, it seems like a much shorter time. In others, but she refers to it as the Prospect Store.
Yeah, that's Prospect Plaza.
She says, I will always remember you as a very fair-minded person and the best boss I ever knew. I wish we were having a big anniversary for the Prospect Store, but I have good memories of the 3 years we had. Best wishes to you and your family. And here is someone, Dottie Winburn.
Who's that?
She says, hi. It was a long time ago, and things were just beginning to happen at Harper's Fabric. On my part, I had much to learn, and I had a great teacher by the name of Dean Harper. Dean, around Fabric Daily, renewed a long-time interest for creation. In this day, a retired journalist is still at it Country Club and Children's Nursery Hospital, creatively sewing. And, it's a little bit harsh on you here. Selling and contributing to the grannies of tomorrow. Out of early training, my teachers were never addressed by their first names, so I say, thank you, Mr. Harper, and congratulations on your great success.
That's nice, I haven't seen her for a long time.
I don't think anybody has to.
Have you seen her?
Or is she still
She
living?
still lives over there.
Does she?
I see her husband, doesn't he deliver, for Bruce Smith?
You know, I think he does.
I've just seen him going in and out
Yeah.
when I've been in there. But she used to be the secretary.
Yeah.
And then there are people like Rita Davidson
Mm.
and Mary Beth Carr,
Oh,
who
goodness.
used to work here, and employees here, current employees, I don't know employees too.
Why not?
And there are still more
All those pictures.
coming in
Oh,
too.
goodness.
But I found an old, 20 years old newspaper story from the Kansas City Star that kind of gives a little background. And they tell the story that Prairie Village Fabric Shop, it was called, 6943 Tomahawk Road, Prairie Village, has been purchased by R. Dean Harper, a former Kansas City and J.C. Penney Company executive. He bought this from Mrs. Margaret K. Swift and Mrs. Georgia C. Lowell, sisters who have owned and operated it for the last 12 years. The shop now occupies 1,838 square feet, and Harper, who will operate the store, has leased an additional 836 feet. He plans to remodel and enlarge the merchandise display area next month. Harper attended Kansas City schools and began his 21-year career with J.C. Penney since 1949. He has worked in merchandising, store operation, and management, and for the last 5 years was manager for special projects for the firm's planning and research division at the home office in New York. Lease arrangements for the current space plus the planned expansion were handled by How did you ever get home with that?
Yeah, I wondered.
They've been going through that there in the office.
Is that right?
Give somebody a key, you just.
Yeah. Dorothy knows her stuff is there that I don't.
Secretary. The next thing I want to know, Mr. Harper, how much did you pay for this ad in the Kansas City Star?
Well, I don't know, but I
Prairie
remember
Village
that.
Fabric
You still
Shop.
paid it all.
Yeah.
That was with the,
Was it?
Did you call the closet there? Okay, come on in.
How much for the bathroom then?
Oh, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Really hot news, cotton, 50 cents and $1 a yard. And bonded suiting fabric.
Bonded suitings,
No, unbonded.
Those are $2.50. Satin and taffeta is 44 cents a yard.
Well, we were getting rid of her stock.
The sad part of it is, I think some of that's still back there.
I'm emotionally attached.
I knew there was a reason.
Yeah.
We got some of that in our house.
And
short-term memory goes, you remember things that happened 20 years ago. Oh, mine's all gone. Right, I have no memory except what happened 5 minutes ago. There were lots of good times and lots of not so good times, but fortunately, Mr. Harper put up with all of my little faux pas, and I guess I'm my
I don't remember it.
I have a son who says he's going to publish a book with all of Mom's sayings in it. Anyway, I have very pleasant memories, and I guess the one that was the hardest on me was when we learned to use the computer. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. But I literally broke out in hives from the top of my head. Pat was under a doctor's care. But we survived, and now I think I've got that stutter whipped.
Yeah.
So, but it's been a wonderful 20 years, and I think back when this, quote, young, naive housewife first went to Mr. Harper. I remember the interview like it was yesterday. And I started working 2 or 3 days a week, and it was just before my oldest daughter went to college. Well, 20 years later, all the kids are through college. We've graduated 5 children from college, plus 2 from dental school. And Mr. Harper is still putting up with all of my
No, not at all.
And how many grandchildren?
10. He's the only person in the world I knew, he and Mary, who had 5 children, so we
We had a lot in common, didn't we?
we did have a lot in common.
Well, Dorothy's got a 20th anniversary coming up, and you start getting the house cleaned up because we're all coming over. We'll just warn you now. How's that?
Sounds good.
Well, having come from Ward Parkway, there are a lot of sad times, and so I told Elise I really didn't want to remember ending them. But there was a time that Yanni and Jenny Miller and I, when we were working at Ward Parkway, there was this one bowl of fabric that was absolutely awful.
Only one? That was before Aletha started doing the modeling.
And we kept looking at this mold of fabric, and it never went down. I mean, there was the same yardage on it all the time. So we kept telling Mr. Harper, well, you know, this really isn't a real good seller. And he kept saying, well, I kind of like it.
I bought it.
And it seemed like that was the story every time we looked at it. He just seemed to really like it. And so Jenny Miller said, well, for Christmas, let's make Mr. Harper a robe and a nightcap. And so that's what she did. She got the fabric and she took it home, and we still got the robe, mind you. And here it is, it's got
You can wear that in the church pageant.
And not only that, the cows say moo.
Well, I might donate that for the next Christmas. That's always been one of my favorites.
The trouble is, it's almost back.
It says blue on there, doesn't it?
And it's got a cow's tail for a belt.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Where's
And
the hat?
there was a nice little hat, but I think when we moved, it got pitched.
And what I want to do is thank Mary very much for moving this.
We tried to give it to the Salvation Army or somebody, and they wouldn't take it.
I got a reputation of
Actually, I'm not sure why you didn't ever wear it.
I think you did.
Well, you know, when I dug it out of the closet for you, it had a handkerchief in one pocket and a package of matches in the other one. did wear it sometime.
Or the matches are suspicious.
I know it was him.
Jan has an I remember when.
Well, probably some of you don't know why, when I lived in Gladstone, how I ever became associated with Harper's. And actually, my first connection was through Zeta Davidson. And Zeta and I were friends, and she lived north of the river. In fact, I had her son in preschool. But Zeta was pregnant with her second child, and she had the sewing class program. That, you know, those early sewing class programs were really, you know, we had classes about every day. But anyway, she needed someone to take her place. And then she was, as soon as she was able, she was going to come back, and then we kind of shared the teaching positions. And that's why I became involved with Harper's. But she did want me to, she wanted Mr. Harper to meet me, and he had to give the okay that I was okay for this position. And part of that position was doing fashion shows. So I went out and met him at Ward Parkway in that back room, and he was very pleasant to me, but he says, well, he says, I really had hoped that you'd be a bigger person. Because we meet like a size 12 or 14 in the fashion show.
We have too many skinny people.
So I promised I'd eat a lot. But anyway, I think the underlying reason, though, is that I'm still with Harper's is, those of you who know my position here, I do a lot of seminars, and we have set up at the farm show. We haul equipment, we haul sewing machines, and you are to do this while you are dressed in a straight, tight skirt with heels and hose and look professional doing this. So if we ever fail with the fabric store, Roger and Dean Harper and myself are starting our own Experience Moving Company.
We can do flea markets or fake fairs.
And I've always said, if nothing sells, he's going to send me out on the corner with a little folding table. That's right, Roger.
Yeah, it's definitely moved a lot, haven't we?
Yeah.
Mary has an I remember when.
Well, I remember the first time I saw the store was, I came out to bring our oldest daughter to college. She was going to Drake, and we were going to spend a week with Grandma and Grandpa before she went to school. And Dean says, you go out there and take a look at that store. We hadn't fully decided whether we were going to buy it or not. And so I found the place from clear out northeast Kansas City and also north of the river, and walked in the front door, and it looked kind of dark because in those days they had those shutters up in the front and big window boxes, and it was kind of dark. And all of a sudden, this was in the days of the early permanent press, and they were dipped in formaldehyde. I walked in there, and tears started running down my cheeks, and I couldn't hardly breathe in there. It didn't have a very good air system or something, and it, of course, was in the middle of the summertime too. Walked in there with the tears running down my cheeks, and I told them who I was. Whether she thought I looked qualified to operate her store or not, but kind of looked around and said, well, this is never going to keep my husband busy, one store like this. Oh, she says, yes, she says, it's all the two of us can do to keep this store running. No, won't do him. Sure enough, a year later, he was opening another store. Oh, that was Ford Parkway, just a year later. Of course, we expanded, like the article said, we started in with expanding the store.
It's a laundromat.
Laundromat,
Yeah.
self-service laundromat.
So they hung up these big plastic sheets and tore out the wall and
Georgie Lowe thought we wouldn't last a year because we didn't know anything about the fabric business, but we got some people that did know about it.
Well, we kept her sister, her oldest sister was Faye England, and she stayed on to kind of help us out, and Dorothy Giddings and Mavis. We kept a few. Well, we kept all the staff that wanted to stay, and recruited a few new ones, and Dorothy and Dottie and
Rosemary Cummings.
Yeah.
The other half of Dorothy's partnership.
She and I shared days.
But I sure was glad when Dorothy's kids started to college and she decided she wanted more hours, because I was doing the books before that. Between Dottie and Dorothy, I got to do bookkeeping. I was glad to give it up and let Dorothy do it.
What bothers me is Dorothy looks the same now as she did then, and I
You haven't looked at the gray hair or the wrinkles.
You were in the basement.
she complained about it.
I asked for a skylight 3 or 4 times a year, and I never did.
Well, we used to have one out in front there until they put that window in.
I've always said if we ever had a fire, I would be a crispy critter. But I thought there used to be a vent back where Elaine's stuff is that went up right in that front window. I thought, well, if push came to shove, I could get through that little vent. And one day I was up looking at it, and somebody said, I don't know how that subject came up, and they said, that vent isn't there, it was covered up when we remodeled the front window.
You'd crawl up into the box.
So, you know, if we have a fire, I'm a goner.
As soon as you smell smoke, you get up those stairs.
Or she can't tell what's bad smoke and what's.
Starting of her modeling career.
How old were you when you did your first one? Just always.
Didn't model diapers.
Didn't you remember a story about Ben and the fashion show?
Yeah, the one year that Judy was in the place, what was it, pedal pushers that had palm trees and surfboards.
Jim.
Yeah, but it was just getting to this reality of stuff.
What was it that Grandpa asked him?
He said, "Are you ready for a day at the beach, Ben?" And I said, "Not really."
Remember the year they were dinosaurs?
Yeah. I think those costumes are still around. Maybe one in Phoenix.
One went to Phoenix.
Yeah, still have one.
Well, I don't know, it's hard to believe it's been 20 years.
You were just a kid.
I got my driver's license the year that we opened up, and I remember racing back and forth between the store all the time.
He was the original stock boy.
That's right. He didn't last long.
Yeah, I had hair then, down to my shoulders and thighs. Back in the early 70s.
Didn't you have an old van?
Yeah, I had an old 63 Volkswagen van. Original 50 van. I don't know, I think it's fun to think back of some of the hot items that we had that sold. And I think the first one that I remember, and I think this was probably after I started full time, and yards and bolts of quilted fabric that we sold for placemats and napkins, so we mentioned that earlier. And then, remember when Ultra Suede was sold on allotment only? And remember the one salesman from Rosewood that we had, I can't remember his last name, his first name was Harry, and he used to sell polyester suede with matching Kiana. I remember how he used to sell it.
Dyed to match.
Dyed to match. He sold crates of that stuff. What else? Lace collars, remember we used to sell so many of those. That was kind of interesting to hear from that lady. Door baskets.
I'm waiting for those polyester double knits to come back. We get those women wearing those double knit pantsuits again, we may last a while.
Some of them haven't given up, you know.
Yeah.
You still
might
see
just
a
about
lot of them.
wear out.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
I remember the year we sold so much of that fabric for making Cabbage Patch dolls, that
Yeah.
year that they were so
I remember the long quilted skirts, the quilted fabrics for the long skirts, you know, that was a big thing.
I
Oh.
sold lots of fabric.
And the years when we sold 1/8 of a yard for all of those ties.
Well, this is very nice, and I thank you all. The reason we've been around.
There are still more greetings. And I'm gonna have lots of fun.
That's really neat, I appreciate it.
Then, I have a little bit for your samples here. You didn't get your regular ranch view delivery. You probably were suspicious. You want to come and open this up?
My goodness.
It's just a little thing. Something fun.
Just let Elizabeth open the card and she can read the card to us. While you open that.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
You still have your Dilly's tag on.
Timing's perfect, Sarah.
You all could come through there, through the kitchen, come back here if you'd like to.
Why don't you do that?
Okay. They call Ben opening this. Does anybody else have it? I remember when.
Look who walked in Friday night. A week early.
Hi, Sarah. Hi,
Actually, I'm not right, how are you? I think the most amazing thing, and I was just thinking of this week, most men would be so envious of Mr. Harper working, and I tried to average and do statistics on the number of women.
Number of beautiful women.
I added up about 200 female employees. And, I mean, I just tried, you know, how many years and how many new women, and then he has, I mean, thousands of women customers. And Mrs. Harper is just so abiding to.
See, I figured all that out a long time ago. When I was trying to decide what do I want to do with my life.
21 years ago.
What you got?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that a nice, look at that, that's nice. Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much, that was nice.
Well, that's
I love this.
I think Dad started to say how much we appreciate all of you. I think since I've been away from the fabric stores a little bit, I appreciate you all even more.
We were talking just the other day about how many fabric stores there were when we went into business, and how many there are now, and how come we survived when so many of them didn't, and it's all because of our people that we've survived while everybody else went down the tube.
There's gotta be a leader, and you're the right
Well,
leader.
it's a good management judgment to pick the right people.
Notice that, huh?
Yeah, but he discards them.
Well, that's really nice.
Even got girl, stock boy.
That could take up a whole other section.
Section on stock boy.
We could write a book on that.
We've gone from, what, 65-year-old?
What was her name?
Edith, she was on retirement.
Yeah.
She worked at Ward
No.
Park.
That isn't it.
What was her name?
I'll think of it, but I can't think.
Something like that.
Oh, yeah. I saw her just before we closed this year, because she's still working over there.
It started with an E.
Faye.
Yeah.
Faye.
Faye.
Yeah.
Close,
I saw
yeah.
her before we closed at Ward Parkway, I saw her.
She said she's doing hair at Montgomery.
She was the worst we ever had.
We decided maybe she was going to pick it up.
Oh, I don't know. Were they?
Well, this is really nice, and I thank you all, and, let's go have another drink and some more food. Can't handle too much.
Everybody's gonna get you on
Oh, yeah.
video.
Yeah. Save it for the ages.
I was gonna say, I was the youngest there is.
Everybody's supposed to go, we're number one. Hi, Mom.
Elaine got beat out.
Okay.
All righty.
I think it probably did.
I really have.
Are we missing anybody here? Mr. Jeffrey, do you know anybody?
Yeah.
I couldn't get her going on getting, almost 4 o'clock, and then let's get this stuff out. She seemed to be confident that way be here.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
What should have happened in Kansas City 30 years ago, would take it away from downtown.
Look over here, Ted. That's it.
One more.
That's your right? Yeah.
One more, yeah.
Well, it's an impressive group, doesn't it?
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay, then I'd like to have Elaine and Mary Jo and Connie, the teaching staff down there.
We're the ones who blow the fuses.
Yes, I did that the other day.
I missed both holidays last time. She should be in
Back off, now you gotta like keys out the light around.
I know.
Come over here.
Yeah, well, the original part, we defrosted it. Oh, I heard.
Okay, once more on count of 3.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Here, now I'd like all the men, all
All right, I just pushed the red button.
Now it's recording.
I know what the headline would be to this.
You're playing so fast.
All these guys agreed to share their women with the strong.
Only Elaine would think.
She's got a fixation about this. There's something where the doctors would have a good time
move
with
in
it.
just a little bit. And Fred and Jim, if you can move in this direction a little bit.
Let me just go out. Well, no, move it up and they get behind it. Yeah.
This is a big group.
There you go, y'all. How's that? That a little better? Better?
Mary, do you feel a little overwhelmed?
I love this.
It's your turn,
Okay, I can't get, yeah.
Just sit back. Just sit up straight and sit back. There you go.
I don't know how it's gonna be, folks.
Harry? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're Parkway.
Come on. Who else?
What about, she
Yeah, Jeanette.
Jeanette,
Come
or
on,
Lawrence
Jeanette.
Parkway.
Jeanette. Come on, Jeanette. Why don't you come over here?
Nah, they can't catch me.
Okay. Getting married is dangerous.
She got this off?
Oh, she must be related to me. Or I get them at crooked angles.
Got unlocked still there.
They'll knock.
Isn't that terrific?
Yeah.